Connacht edged the first Interpro of the season. My name is Mark, let's talk rugby. Ulster lost Will Addison in the warm-up for this one, so they had to, rejig a little bit. We didn't have an early decision for the referee. There's a clash of heads between Carruthers and Hurley Langton, and he decides it's just a clash of heads, no foul play. Both players completely dipped into the contact. So unfortunately, Carruthers didn't come back on. He failed his HIA. He only got like 2 minutes or something on the pitch. Hurley Langton though did come on later, but still, not nice to see that, because I think it was maybe his first appearance or something like that. So not a great way for that to end. Also though, they got a few early chances to attack from the line out, but Connacht competing well and denying that platform early on. Ulster did though sort out that line out later on in the game. Then there was some nice interplay, and O'Halloran is put through a gap. He breaks up the middle, finds Butler, who takes it to within 5 meters. Then McCann manages to slow it down, and Ulster eventually turn it over and win a penalty. Decent play by Connacht to initially make the break and almost capitalise on it, but great defence from Ulster there. McCann then, he's got hands on the ground, and Carty has a shot at goal to open the scoring. And we're actually into the second quarter of the game at this stage. It's just inside the half, and actually no, this one, it's the next one was just inside now. But he pops this over anyway for 3-0 to Connacht. Then Jake Flannery ties us back up a couple of minutes later from the tee as well. This one is just inside the Connacht half, and it's 3-all. Ulster, then they're winning penalties at the scrum, and that's allowing them to get into some decent positions. Dennis Buckley is not happy with the interpretation from referee Mornay Ferreira, but I say a lot of times you got to play the referee. Even if you don't agree with his interpretation, you've got to try to show him a different picture in the scrum. And after a while he did, but the first few he was adamant that the interpretation was wrong, but you're not going to win against a referee in that situation. Ulster then attack off a line out, and they go wide with Aaron Sexton. He gets bundled into touch meters short of the line. Butler then knocks on the line out, and Ulster have a second chance. But Sexton, he's very dangerous because he's so pacey, but Ulster found it very hard to actually get him into any kind of space, where you can actually show us that pace. Ulster, though, they attack off the back of the line out, but then Prendergast and Hurley Langton stopped them on the gain line. Then Tierney Martin gets over the ball to win a penalty. Decent defence there from Connacht. Caelan Blade then, he snipes. Really good break from him. He was very lively all through the game. And then kicks and pressure a little bit back on Ulster. He probably would have preferred that the ball actually stayed in field, because there was a chance for, who was out now? I can't remember who was out in the wing, but for the winger to maybe get there and kick on and score, but it went into touch. Connacht then go through some phases, but Ulster, decent defence from them, pushed them back, and then Carty kicks it out on the full as a try and mix things up a little bit. Ulster then back on the attack, don't seem to be going anywhere, but then Harry Sheridan, he gets in behind. He noticed that there's no pillar at a ruck, and he just goes for it in behind. Really good pace for a second row, and pops off a pass off the deck as well to Flannery to score under the post. Flannery then converts his own try for 10-3. Connacht then get pinged for crossing, and Flannery makes it 13-3, and that was a halftime score. Connacht with most of the play, but Ulster, the ones actually getting the scores. Starting the second half then, Hume makes a half break for Ulster, offloads to Sexton, and he gives it off to Shanahan, who goes over to score, converted for 20 points to 3. And feeling at this stage, Connacht, they need to respond soon, because this game could be done and dusted if Ulster get another score. Connacht then win a penalty as Ulster is offside, and they go up the line, and that was kind of the start of really the momentum switching back to Connacht's way. They go to the maul, good initial momentum, but then Ulster halt them. Caelan Blade then gets it out, and Ford goes through a gap to stroll over for a try. Pretty, nicely well worked there. Carty converts for 20 points to 10. Connacht then win a scrum penalty, and they go up the line again. And yeah, they're really beginning to get on top at this stage. Matty Ray not rolling away. Connacht then go to the corner from that penalty. They maul it in field, and then they go out back to the tram lines with the backs, and Anger with some great hands, and then Farrell goes over in the corner. Carty converts from out wide for 20 points to 17, and it really is game on now. Buckley, though, not rolling away, and it's a penalty to Ulster. It's pretty kickable, but Flannery misses miles to the left. He was down, getting a bit of treatment. I'm not sure when he was right for the kick. But yeah, not even troubling the post, really. Then Ethan McElroy comes on a great line from a goal line dropout. He's through a gap, but then he just throws a pass straight into touch. Could have been a try if he'd been able to find Sexton, who was out there and had plenty of clear space to run into. Connacht then lose Caelan Blade to injury. Fingers crossed he's going to be back soon, but he did look in some distress before going off. Connacht then come forward again after Sexton knocks on. They're in the Ulster 22. Ulster then pinged for playing the 9. Basically, somebody just dragged the 9 right into the ruck. It was so blatant. They go, they get a new advantage then as Warwick is pinged for a no-arms tackle a couple of metres short of the line. Connacht go for the tap. They're looking to get that try that would nudge them a little bit in front. They surge over the line, but Prendergast gets held up. Drop out to Ulster. So it was decent variation from Connacht with, the lines of running and stuff from the tap, but Ulster with great defence turned Prendergast on his back and then made sure that he couldn't twist around to ground. Then have another penalty for not rolling away, and feeling Connacht they need to produce a score. Carty then decides to take a shot, and he misses to the right from, not quite in front, but it was a kickable penalty for a player of his calibre. Poor miss. Ulster, now they have a period of pressure, looking dangerous at times, and crucially they're beginning to run that clock down as well with that slim lead. But then they give away a Sinley penalty. McCann is offside from a kick, and he's miles offside as well. Carty kicks that penalty to the corner to go to the front of the line out, set up the maul. Backs come in to help. It goes to ground, but it's illegally brought down. Then go with pick and goes, and they suck in that defence and then get it out. Carty with a lovely kick over to Kilgannon. I don't know how we actually put the kick in because he's under a bit of pressure and there wasn't much of an angle to work with either, but puts it right over to Kilgannon, and then he finishes in the corner. Conversion's missed to right, and it's 22-20. Connacht leading for the first time. Is it the first time in the game? It's certainly the first time. No, they were leading 3-0 to start, right? But for the first time in a very long time. Connacht then go up the line from another penalty, looking to make sure to win, but also looking for the possibility of that bonus point try as well. To go to the maul, Ulster, no clear release after they break off from that. Connacht then go to the corner. The line-out though malfunctions, and now Ulster look to run it out of their own 22, but it's lost forward. Connacht then get it off the field after the scrum, and final score is 22-20. So Connacht just about shading it. We'll have a look at some of the stats now. Hopefully the stats are updated, because when I checked them a minute ago, they had the number of tries wrong as well. They still have the number of tries wrong. I don't know who does these stats, but they're very slow with them. Let me refresh it again, just in case it updates. Okay, no. So we'll just go with some of the stuff on this is going to be wrong. Start with tries. So it was actually 3 tries to 2, not 2 each as it shows there. Possession then was 63-37 in Connacht's favour. And, you know, a lot of that was kind of the early period where Ulster were defending very well. And then when they kind of closed it out as well, coming back there in the second half. Clean breaks then 8-5. Caelan Blade had a lot of those for Connacht. And I bet Ulster would have wished that one of their clean breaks was to Sexton, because he definitely has the gas to be able to just finish a break, but never really happened for him. Defenders beaten in 32-13, just kind of shows Connacht's ambition with ball in hand. Offloads 12-9. On defence then, territory 72% to 28. So Connacht really, squeezing Ulster into their own half. Number of tackles 80-148. So Ulster having to, put in a big shift there as well. Missed tackles 13-32, and tackle success 86 for Connacht. Again, I always talk about the pass mark is about between like 85 to 87, I'd say, is a pass for URC. So Ulster down there at 82, not up to the standard that they need to be, especially in a tight game like this. Turnovers then, 4 for Connacht, 7 for Ulster. McCann was one of the best for Ulster in terms of turning the ball over, but he did make some silly errors that kind of evened out his contribution, I felt, over the game. Kicking then, 3 kicks retained for Connacht, none for Ulster. Connacht, they were actually kicking to make it contestable. Ulster more kicking for distance, and then kicking success ignore, because it's always 0-0. Penalties conceded then 7 each, and it was very even, but it kept swinging backwards and forwards in terms of who was putting on pressure, and then who was obviously conceding the penalties as well. So in terms of the two teams, we start with Ulster. So I felt they did really well to get themselves, in that position where they were 20 points to 3 up, right? And it looked like they just needed one more score, and it was going to be a win for them. They just couldn't produce it. Like, the last points they scored was in the 42nd minute. That was the conversion of that Shanahan try. So almost the entire second half they were kept scoreless by Connacht, and that inability to just add on that extra penalty or whatever really did hurt them. Flannery, I thought, had a great game. He did miss that penalty that in hindsight might have won it for them, but I talk about as well that if he got that penalty over there, then Connacht would have been looking for another try or drop goal or wherever at the end. So there's no guarantee Ulster were going to win, and the game could have ended completely differently. Connacht might have gone on to win like 30-odd to 23 or something like that. You can never say just one kick, halfway through the second half is going to actually win it. But for them, I thought that Harry Sheridan was excellent, really good in the carry, looks very athletic. Then in the back row, I thought Timoney kind of stood out a little bit for them as well. Flannery, I said, was excellent. Sexton, they need to get him on the ball a bit more. Moore and Hume look good in patches, but they need a little bit more from them. Eden McElroy kind of the same too. Then for Connacht, really great win for them, being able to come back from, almost dead and buried to just eat into that lead all the time and get themselves in position and then get themselves ahead and then finish the game where they're actually going for the bonus point try rather than being camped on their own line trying to defend. I thought was really good. I thought Tierney Martin had a good game. Hurley Langton, Oliver was excellent. Prendergast was a little bit quiet. Then Caelan Blade was amazing, so lively as well, and he's going to be a big miss for them if he is out injured for a while. Carty was good. I thought Ford and Farrell did well in that centre combination as well. Kilgannon was probably, between himself and Ralston, he was probably the liveliest of the two wingers. And then O'Halloran had moments as well in the game. And then Niall Murray, I thought, had Niall Murray and Jared Butler, two of them had good impact from the bench. I don't know why, but in commentary, I don't know who the guy was that was on there. Maybe he was a South African or something, but he was with what's the Irish guy's name that was he was a coach in France. His name's gonna get out of my head now. but the South African, whoever he was calling Niall Murray something like Niall Murray or something, and then the Irish guy once called him that. I don't know whether he was just taking the piss out of him or he just got influenced by him, but it was so weird to hear him say that. I can't even remember who it was. I remember who it was. I can picture him and everything. So enough of that. But Connacht, an amazing win for them. Ulster, they talked about before this game how, a lot of their prep for this season was about kind of redemption, and that defeat to Connacht in the quarterfinals of the URC last year. And they put a lot on kind of winning this game as well, or performing well in this game. They performed well in the game at times, but they didn't get the win. And Ulster, that kind of sums up Ulster in recent seasons. They've been a nearly team, and it looks like, unless something changes with them, and it can this season, very early on in the season, but right now they still look like they are a nearly team. Connacht, they're going to be top of the table now. And they got to keep going and ride that wave, I think, as long as they can.